Good morning and welcome here to Polo Line TV. It is a beautiful day and we are at Black Bears Polo Club. Truly one of the most beautiful settings here in polo, and it is the final of the Oxfordshire Cup here in 2024. Ojo Caliente taking on White Crane here, this 18-goal tournament. The climax being reached today, and what a couple of teams we have reaching this stage. You have a look there, JP Clark, and over the years, this level, the 15 goal, the 18 has been his own. He has won tournament after tournament, captaining this side, the captain, of course, of New Zealand for so many years, JP Clark, and great to see him here in this final. My name is John Kent, delighted to be here with you on Polo Line TV for the final here today, as we have been throughout this tournament, on this run. And it is two great teams ready to get underway. Ana Escobedo and her Caliente side. Ana Escobedo at number 1. Thomas Villens, the young player, at number 2 of 4 goals. Facundo Solo, player, of course, no introduction needed whatsoever. 8 goals, the Argentine superstar, and JP Clark and the Kiwi at back of 6 goals. And what an exciting team this White Crane side are. Jasmine Calvet-Ansari at number 1 of 0 goals. James Byme, England international, of course, number 2 of 6 goals. Mackenzie Weiss, the young American player, of 6 goals. And Felipe Dabas, another young superstar of the game, at number 4 of 6 goals. Both of these sides, 18 goals. 5 chuckers here in this 18-goal tournament. The final of the Oxfordshire Cup. Ojo Caliente, they've had it pretty plain sailing to get here, undefeated, as we see our umpires as well, Chris Hyde and Tarquin Southwell. White Crane, they did lose earlier on in the tournament, but they have made their way to the final. Social media, please do let us know where you're watching from. Polo Line OK on Instagram, Polo Line Int on Facebook, and Polo Line TV on YouTube. First of our 5 chuckers about to get us underway. Umpire Tarquin Southwell lining them up, and the ball goes in play, and straight away it's at the middle of the line out, and it is going to be England player James Byme. Having a look, we saw James Byme live just last weekend, winning the 12-goal Tyro Cup at Calgary, but he's had the ball stolen away by Villens off him, and now looking to go on a run down the ground was Sola. Didn't get a clean touch on the ball, so there with a big backhand down the ground was Weiss, looking to see if he can find either Byme, and it's Felipe Dabas in the number 4, running through. Calvet-Ansari coming across. It's Jasmine Calvet-Ansari, called off the play by Dabas. Dabas will pick it up now in a little bit of space here for White Crane, spinning round there, a little bit of a circle in front of Villens. It's still here now with Dabas. Look at the control on the ball. Has a look behind him. He had the backup there in both Weiss and Byme, as Mackenzie Weiss now being pushed hard by Facundo Sola. Sola plays the open backhand into space. No one quite read it, so it's going to come straight back at them there with the backhand by Dabas up towards the goal. Looking to see if he can find James Byme, but the umpires cool play to a stop. Let's have a look here on the instant replay. Saw the backhand being hit there by Dabas up towards the goal. James Byme just came across there in front of a couple of Ojo Caliente players, being called back, and it is going to be a spot hit in favour of the green shirts. Mentioned that Tyro Cup game that James Byme won last weekend. We are, of course, live with a lot of action over Calgary. We were there for the Triplets Challenge yesterday. We're off to Chantilly as well. Please do keep your eyes on the Polo Line TV app to see exactly where you can be watching this wonderful sport from around the world, as we're here now with Ojo Caliente. Look at the play by Facundo Sola and Villens, but it's just left behind. Villens couldn't quite take it out the air. It's here now with Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss has a look in front of him, has no one on the run, so instead takes the shot at goal. Byme's got to be quick, though, as Facundo Sola will be first there in defence for Ojo Caliente. Closed down quickly by Byme, and another whistle on the ground. So a little bit of a stop-start nature to the play. Facundo Sola was going back here in defence. Dummied the backhand. That made James Byrne think he was able to go in and eventually just drawn underneath the backhand, so it is a spot hit in favour of the green shirts. They get going quickly with a pass. Look for JP Clarkin down the centre of ground, calling for the pass, and it's going to be JP Clarkin running away at speed here. Tabas has to be quick to get him. It's JP Clarkin running away here for Ojo Caliente. The approach shot's looking good. He's got the speed. Has he got the composure? It's JP Clarkin. It's through the centre of the goal. JP Clarkin, long-time pro, of course, for Black Bears, knows these grounds, scores the goal for his side, and Ojo Caliente, they have the first score of the game. They've been under pressure, but look how Clarkin just takes his time right in front of goal and scores the cut shot for his side. JP Clarkin with the number 4 on his back, but he was the player making the run. Facundo Sola, Thomas Villans behind him. And we're back in play now. Who's going to pick it up? It's here on the stick of this very impressive 4-goal player, Thomas Villans. Takes it to the right-hand side now of James Byrne. He's got Clarkin again with the run. What a shot that is up towards the goal. It's going to drop about 30 yards from play as JP Clarkin, he's got the strength on the near side, and they've gone again. The two combine. Oh, he's left it behind against the post, and it just deflects through the goal. Just seeing the ball there settle over the line. JP Clarkin, heart in his mouth for a second. What a pass that was again by Villans. Such confidence. It's Clarkin on the near side. He did miss that flick, but it just went over the line. Goal is scored. And Ojo Caliente against the run of play as the first 3 minutes of this chukker went, but they are the team with 2 on the board. Ball goes back in play. They won't wait for all of the players. On it there is Villans again. Escobedo, she's been ridden out the play by Calvin Sari, so it will now fall on the end of a stick of James Byrne. Gives it now to Felipe Rabas. Back again to James Byrne. Felipe Rabas takes away Clarkin, so Byrne takes it, looking to take on Villans. The cut shot just left a little bit short, so it will fall now for Facundo Sola. The open backhand to nobody in space, and now on for play again comes White Crane and Mackenzie Weiss. The backhand played to James Byrne. Byrne takes away the hook there quickly of Sola, giving it back to Weiss. Weiss sends the ball down the ground, looking again to see if he can find Byrne. Over the backhand there was Facundo Sola, and here comes James Byrne. So dangerous from this sort of position through the centre of the goal. And Ojo Caliente now have their names on the board. James Byrne, his score just taken up on the missed backhand. As we see him come away, there was good work by Dabas behind him. Sorry, Mackenzie Weiss behind him, and James Byrne, easy as you like. The goal is scored. Players come back to the centre of the field. Just over 2 minutes remaining here in this first of our 5 chukkers. Ball goes in play. It is here with Felipe Rabas taking on JP Clarkin. Clarkin getting involved there. Coming in through now will be Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss spinning it to the left-hand side. Looks to take it up. Yeah, good control there by the American Weiss. Takes it to the left-hand side again of Clarkin. But the presence of the New Zealand captain, JP Clarkin, was enough as it's picked up now by Villans. Villans in between both Byrne and Weiss. Still here now with Villans. Oh, it's stolen away. Look at the speed there of Mackenzie Weiss, but he just took on a little bit too much there with Facundo Sola, who's able now to bring the ball under his spell in front of James Byrne. Still now, Sola leaves it behind. James Byrne taking on again Villans and Sola. James Byrne comes away with it, and Mackenzie Weiss calls to a pass. Byrne looks behind at the umpires. Nothing coming though, but Byrne will pick it up. Just getting a little bit stuck there though, with JP Clarkin coming across on the near side, turning it back round and picking it up again will be Mackenzie Weiss. White Crane now beginning to apply the pressure. Sends a shot down the ground, looking to find James Byrne. Now Byrne, can he tie us up here right at the end of this opening chukker? Byrne slows it down, looking now to take on Facundo Sola. A shot up towards the goal, and it's just crept inside that left-hand goalpost. The goal is scored, and we're all tied up now. Great goal again by James Byrne. See here on the instant replay how he just took his time. He sucked in a couple of Ojo Caliente players and scores the goal for his team. Players come back to the centre. 2's on the board. Ball goes back in play. Picked up again by Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss now to the left-hand side of Clark, and they got to stop him before he gets going. And the long arms of JP Clark are able to do that, but Dabas keeps the attack going. He might have just put a little bit too much on that though, as he looked to send Weiss through as it rolls over the goal line to the left-hand side of the goalposts. And with 5 seconds or so remaining in this first chukker, that could well be that for the first period of play. We hear the buzzer go, so the end of the opening chukker. 2 goals to Ojo Caliente took them away, but James Byam got 2 back for White Crane, and we're all tied here on Polo Line TV, the final of the Oxfordshire Cup. 2 goals apiece. So welcome back. Here we are, the Oxfordshire Cup final, and what an opening chukker that is. We saw the 22-goal polo, White Crane themselves. Jasmine's husband Alexei playing in that team in the Triplets Challenge, but so often this 18-goal level just runs for a bit more team, 4-man polo, 4-player polo, and we're seeing that out there in this opening stages of the Oxfordshire Cup final. As mentioned right at the beginning, we have Ojo Caliente undefeated to this point. White Crane, they were defeated earlier on in the tournament, but still managed to make their way to this final, courtesy of a couple of results going their way. And having seen JP Clarkin score 2 runaway goals early on in that chukker, they may have been fearing the worst. But James Byam, we had a great interview with him after that Tyro Cup final last week. He has been part of a 22-goal polo scene for the last 20 years here in England, but he's really enjoying playing 18, 15, 12-goal polo. He's always been one of the best mounted players out there, and so competitive already in this 18-goal season as part of the White Crane organisation. And they are an organisation, but they're just getting more and more powerful on the English polo circuit as they come out now, but they're under pressure from Ojo Caliente again as it's in the centre of ground with JP Clark, and Felipe Dabas sends it back round. Lovely interplay there between Dabas and Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss sends it back up, but watching him quickly at the back there was Facundo Sola. Sola again, a player who's been part of the 22-goal circuit here at Cowdrey Park over the years in the UK at guards. As it's here now with Sola. Spins it back round. He's got James Byam looking to get round Thomas Finland. Great play by Byam, and just for a second Dabas thought he was away, as Dabas now has to come back here on himself with Facundo Sola in close attendance. Felipe Dabas has a look down the ground, sends it long, looking to see if he can find the runner at the front in Calvert Ansari. Ansari ridden out well there by Escobedo, and the backhand played, but it's into the pony there of the White Crane attack, so the danger not yet over. It's picked up here by Weiss. Weiss using there James Byam as the blocker, has a look to the goal, but it's going to go wide to the left-hand side. Frustration there for White Crane then, And it's going to be Ojo Caliente with the ball on the back line. So here now comes Thomas Villens. He's got number 2 on his shirt, but they seem to be letting him take these set plays from the back line, giving it to Facundo Sola. Sola again, sending JP Clarkin on the run, looking to stretch for play, but clever and quick in defence there was Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss with the backhand, looking to send Felipe Dabas up towards the ball. He's under pressure straight away from Sola. It's still here, though, with Dabas. Good play by the young player from Argentina. Has a look up the centre of ground, seeing if he's got any support. Felipe Dabas sends it down the ground, picking it up now. Again, it will be Weiss. James Bime just having a look to see if he can find a gap at the front as it's there with Weiss. Sending it down, looking for Calvert Ansari, but it's good defence again by Escobedo as the ball heads towards the back line. Nothing on the backhand. It's Calvert Ansari right in front of goal, but drawing the whistle from the umpires. We have a look here at the instant replay. You saw Ana Escobedo. She'd gone back there in defence and coming across in front of JP Clark and picking up the line. And it will be Ojo Caliente with the ball just in front of their own goal. So scoreless in this second chukker. Still all 2s on the board. The final here of the Oxfordshire Cup at Black Bears as it gets sent out to the right-hand side. But this time, the communication not quite there. It was good blocking work by Mackenzie Weiss to take it away solo and allow Felipe Dabas the chance just to turn it back up to the goal. He's got to meet it. Look at the confidence there by Villens as he now goes in between Bime and Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss just did enough to put him off. Bime sends the backhand back towards the goal. It's going to run close. It's going to just stay in play. Is it? Yes, in front of the goal. Calvin Ansari coming across. The umpire's happy. In comes Mackenzie Weiss, and the umpires with a decision to make here right in front of a goal being attacked by Ojo Caliente. The flag is waving. You wonder whether this may actually be a penalty one, as you saw Escobedo coming across in front of Calvin Ansari. They may have blown that one. They may then have blown the second player as well. But either way, the goal, it is given, and it is also going to be a penalty one. So you'll see the ball dropped in the centre of the ground. 3-2 in favour of White Crane. There was a change to the rules around a penalty one just a couple of years ago. It used to be for dangerous play only. Now it is if there is a foul seen to deliberately be preventing a certain goal, they will give that penalty one. So a goal and a penalty from the centre of the ground. And it's going to be Felipe Dabas. High goal experience, as mentioned, in the UK as part of Talent Trackers a couple of years ago. Seeing him now in the 18 goal here as he sends the ball out right, looking to find Weiss. Weiss with the under neck shot towards the goal. He had a lot of time there, but he just sent it to the left-hand side of the goalpost. I think was surprised quite how much time he did have. Couldn't quite find the accuracy on the shot. So it's going to be Ojo Caliente bringing the ball in off the back line. Sends it out to the left-hand side, seeing if he can find the runner there in Clarkin. But again, the communication not quite right as James Bime is able to pick the ball up here for White Crane. Bime using Dabas as the blocker. Still now James Bime. He's about 50 from goal. Sends it up to Flexo off the pony of JP Clarkin, and a chance now for Ojo Caliente to counter. Have a look for a runner in Facundo Sola. Out in front of him, Sola calls a pass. Clarkin sends it long, looking to send Facundo Sola on his way. Calvin Ansari back in defence. Has she got the strength and the speed to catch up? Look at the defence by Calvin Ansari, but Sola's got round, and Sola, this is where he is at his best. Reaches out, puts it through the goal. What a score that was. Calvin Ansari did all she could going back, but Facundo Sola, if you're going to have any player in the world in that kind of a position, Facundo Sola, he'd be right up there in your picks as you see him just reach out. What a score it was on the counter. JP Clarkin this time providing supply, and Facundo Sola, scorer of the goal this time, and we're all tied up again. ball goes back in play. Facundo Sola, another player, long-time figure in the 22-goal polo, as it's here with Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss taking on JP Clark, and still here with Weiss. Just drops it behind him now, looking for Felipe Dabas. Dabas hooked up the play well by Villan. Villan got the hook. JP Clark and brings it round. But again, Weiss and James Bime working well together. It's there with Bime. Sends it down the ground, looking to see if he can find Felipe Dabas. But watching Dabas is Facundo Sola. Gets the hook out the play. The flyby as Dabas gets nothing on it, and the counter-attack can now be on. Can Facundo Sola repeat the trick here for Caliente? He's got Clarkin gone well out in front of him, but Facundo Sola just keeps it close, using Villan again as the blocker. Sends it out right now, looking to bring JP Clarkin into the equation. As Clarkin, next shot up towards the goal, looking to see if he can find Escobedo on the run. Coming back in defence was Calvert Insari, just did enough to put Ojo Caliente off their stride, and now looking to turn it round again is James Bime, sending Calvert Insari on the way, but the umpire stopping her in her tracks just as her eyes lit up in front of her. As we have a look now on the instant replay, you saw the shot across the ground by James Bime, and it looks like Calvert Insari, if she had to play, it was on the near side. So it's going to be a penalty, likely from the spot, facing their own defensive area in favour of the green shirts of Ojo Caliente, and they will take their time here on this beautiful ground at Black Bears, the final of the Oxfordshire Cup. Live, exclusively on Polo Line TV. Facundo Sola opens up the shoulders, goes for the little chip down the ground. I think he's put a little bit too much on it and didn't quite have the accuracy. It goes wide to the left-hand side. So it will be the turn of White Crane to bring the ball back into play. White Crane here with Felipe Dabas. Watching him closely there, and coming in and applying the pressure straight away is Facundo Sola. So Dabas sends it down the ground, trying to find James Bime, but swooping onto it quickly here is Villans. Villans called for the tail backhand down the boards by Clarkin. Just left a little bit short, but Clarkin still has the play as we go into the final 45 seconds here of this second chukker, as Clarkin leaves it in turn for Villans again. Villans sends it down the ground, looking to see if he can find Escobedo at the front. She does ride away the player, but Calvin Ansari quick in defence, and now White Crane able to turn it round, but quick to the danger was JP Clarkin. Clarkin spins it back round, again using the blocker, just taking away Mackenzie Weiss, sends it down the ground, meeting it superbly there and controlling it is Facundo Sola through the centre of the goal, and Ojo Caliente. What a score that was by Facundo Sola. Danced a little pirouette around the White Crane defence. As you have a look here, Facundo Sola just reached out, scooped it under the pony of Felipe Dabas, sent it up towards the goal. The goal is scored, and with just a couple of seconds to go in this second chukker, players are turning back round to their tents. And that is that for the second period of play. And Ojo Caliente, courtesy of that goal there by Facundo Sola, lead the Oxfordshire Cup final exclusively live on Polo Line TV, 4-3. Welcome back here to Polo Line TV. The third chukker for the Oxfordshire Cup final. What an opening couple of chukkers we've had. We've seen both teams looking to run and stretch the game as they go. Really interesting to see with Caliente in possession now how JP Clarkin with the number 4 on his shirt is so often the player who runs from deep and stretches the play out, but this time James Bime was quick to it. Left now there for Felipe Dabas. Dabas sends it back out left here to James Bime. Bime ridden out the play well by Facundo Sola, but I think there's a buried ball on the ground. So it will just be a roll in as we have a look there. James Bime coming up there against Sola. Just fell right into a divot there. It wasn't actually trodden. There was an open divot that the ball goes into. As the players now crowd round. Umpire there, Tarquin Southall, seeing if he can dig it out. Tarquin Southall, long-time commentator as well on Polo Line TV. You'll undoubtedly hear him as the summer progresses. Great to see him here out umpiring alongside another one of our commentators, Chris Hyde, as well. And it is Chris Hyde. Throws the ball back into play. Two professional polo players in their own rights. Chris Hyde, his son Jack Hyde, played in this tournament as well. We saw him picking up the MVP as well, exclusively live on St. Moritz over the winter, as it's here now in defence with Facundo Sola. Sola stolen away from by Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss with the neck shot up towards the goal. It looks like it's going to curl. It's curled just inside that goalpost. What a score that is by Mackenzie Weiss for White Crane and these teams. It just continues to swing back and forth in momentum. Look here at Mackie Weiss with the neck shot towards the goal. Reached out. It did just look for a second like it may deflect off the goalpost, but just snuck safely inside. So 4s on the board for each side here in this third chukker. Who's going to pick it up? It's there in the lineup with Facundo Sola. Sent it back up, but reading it there was Felipe Dabas. Dabas sends it out right, looking to see if he can find Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss puts plenty on it. It's going right up there for James Bime, but JP Clarkin quick back there in defence, goes across his own goal mouth. James Bime quick to it, reading it, and now both urge their horses towards the ball, out towards the boards. The backhand played by James Bime into the ponies verse. It's picked up now by Villains. He's got JP Clarkin close by. Stretching the play again is Facundo Sola. Watching Sola closely is Weiss. The tail backhand into the pony there of Facundo Sola, who's able to turn around in front of Bime. Watch for JP Clarkin. Oh, stolen away from Sola before he could send the pass up. So it's going to be here again with Felipe Dabas. Dabas opens up his shoulder, sends it long up towards the goal, but again, not quite finding the accuracy. A lot of those chances we've seen in this contest for players choosing to hit the ball from sort of 50, 60 yards out from the goal. Just sending it wide. It has been wet conditions, not only here up around Windsor, around the polo circuit in the UK over the past week. So you are seeing the ground cut up a little bit. So choosing to hit it when they can, as Dabas just hits the ball there into the pony of Facundo Sola. But it works out as Mackenzie Weiss able to get here for White Crane. Drops it back now for Felipe Dabas. Dabas, he's got Calvin Ansari and James Bime both up towards the goal. Looking to see if he could find Calvin Ansari, but it just deflects off her pony as it picked up now by JP Clarkin. Clarkin takes control of possession, sends it out to the right-hand side, looking to find Facundo Sola. Long drive down the ground. He'd spotted Ana Escobedo, and Escobedo's gone. Calvin Ansari coming back quickly, and the pressure was just enough to put Escobedo off her stride. The open backhand sent straight back into the mixer by Felipe Dabas, but there in defence, quick to it again, was Villans with the near side backhand, finding first Clarkin, now Facundo Sola. Villans will get there again. Oh, he's left it behind. A rare mistake there, and it lets James Bime go. And you don't want to let James Bime go in this type of position. Is Bime here for White Crane? Just has a look behind him, the approach shot towards the goal, and Bime under late pressure. Oh, it's great defensive play, but not quite enough as the flag is waving and making sure it's Mackenzie Weiss and White Crane. I'm not sure whether the first one was scored. We'll have a look on the instant replay. Bime did get back there, and it looked like the goal wasn't scored, so it did need finishing off by Mackenzie Weiss. So the goal is scored, and White Crane lead the game again, 5-4. The umpires count down again. They won't wait for all of the players to come back as the ball goes back in play. Bringing it out to the left-hand side now is Thomas Villans. Villans taking on James Bime again off that defensive piece of work. Could be frustrated that the goal was scored. What a shot that is on the near side up towards the goal, but it looks like it's just gone wide to the left-hand side. Plenty of goals being left out on the field in this game, just unable to convert. And it will be White Crane with the ball on the back line. And Felipe Davas with the ball on the back line, just tapping it up. He's got loads of time here. No one's closing him down as of yet. Facundo Sola not far away, so Davas sends the ball down looking for Calvert-Ansari on the near side, just beaten by the bounce of a play as we go into the final minute and a half here of this opening half, and is picked up, and the attack will continue with Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss now for White Crane. The ball here on the boards. JP Clarkin behind him. On the near side now, Mackenzie Weiss. In between Clarkin and Villans. It's still here now with Weiss. Clarkin coming in. Great play there by Mackenzie Weiss. It's right up there on the back line. The ball, I think, went through the goal. Both sides claiming this one is theirs. So it was whether the ball went out of play before Mackenzie Weiss was able to finish it. That does look to be the decision. So Ojo Caliente with the ball on the back line. We'll have a look here on the instant replay. It was great control by Weiss, but I think the umpire's saying there that the ball did go out of play before the goal was scored. So back on the field of play now. Felipe Davas getting there in front of Clarkin. The open backhand played, looking for James Bime again. Can White Crane put some daylight between the two sides before the halfway point of the match? Bime sends it down the ground. He's looking for Weiss again, but coming back in defence on the grey is Facundo Sola. Sola has JP Clarkin out in front. Villans behind him. Sola somehow able to bring that one away again at the second attempt. Now does give it back to JP. Watch for Sola down the centre of ground. Clarkin called for the pass as it's still here now with JP Clarkin. News it was a call from the umpires. He did that, but unable to find a teammate as Bime comes in with the backhand, looking for Weiss, but JP Clarkin was quick to it, picked up here in defence by Felipe Davas. We've had the first buzzer go, so 30 seconds now. There could be one more chance for White Crane. James Bime couldn't quite reach it from behind. He's got Jasmine Calvert-Ansari out in front of him. That's where he's looking, but he just hits it into the pony. The ball gets stuck. There goes a whistle, and that will bring an end to the first half, and it is White Crane leading this Oxfordshire Cup final at Black Bears, live exclusively on Polo Line TV, 5-4. And we will go to an interview here at the halfway point on Polo Line TV.
It is very important for my team, for the culture of my team, because the safety comes from following the rules and respecting the umpires. So I have always been very open with all my team members that we have to be pro the game, in favor of respecting the game, respecting the other team, and most of all listening why the umpire they're calling different calls. So it's something that I have worked very hard on, and I have extraordinary team members that supported me in all the way. And we kind of joke around that, okay, who's more heated or because of the discussion, but who's controlling itself in a more let's say, professional way. So it's definitely the basis of the team and has always been for a long time. It's my safety and all my team members' safety depends on following the rules. So, and the well-being of the sport depends on following the rules. So definitely it's a priority on the culture of our team. Well, I think that there certainly is the most competitive polo probably in if you take Argentina out in the world. You have very good horses, and that makes a very good level. And I think from the low goals, there has been a long time the HPA and clubs trying to reinforce new people joining, and like especially like I can like more the north now. I think Oxford, it's not the north, but Oxford, Burford, they're bringing a lot of new people playing. Maybe less in Windsor. We have less places now for starters, for amateurs. Guards is doing a great job, but I think the effort of the HPA and these clubs to bring new people are helping build up the number of teams that we have. Certainly in the high goal is the best polo in this time of the year. Like there's okay, Spain is fantastic, but the quality of the horses, they concentrate here. So it's, yeah, definitely, we all want to be here.
Welcome here to Caliente in France for the long-awaited final of the First Nations Cup. Our finals here are between France Paca and Korea.
So welcome back here at the halfway point. It has been serene, as we were saying, so some work being done on the field. But have a look here at the stats of the half. All field goals. So great to see. Only one foul committed by Ojo Caliente. 4 by White Crane, but none close enough to goal. So 4 field goals for Ojo Caliente, 5 for White Crane, and we're all tied up as well on throw-ins. 5 apiece. No yellow cards. Always good to see, as mentioned, Chris Hyde and Tarquin Southwell doing a great job out there umpiring. And it has been an end-to-end contest so far. As we have a look at the scoreboard progression. 2-2 at the end of the first. Ojo Caliente, they'd flown into an early lead before they got pegged back by 2 goals by James Bynum, and since then White Crane have just about had the better. Of course, many players, it looks like Michel Del Carril here watching, long time participant as well of a 15, 18 goal, 22 goal polo as well in the UK. Big day of polo here at Black Bears. There is the subsidiary final to follow as well. That one won't be covered live here on Polo Line TV, but the highlights will be available. Do make sure you check it out. We are covering a lot of the action at Calgary in the coming days as well. The Dollar Cup going into some 15 goal, 18 goal polo as well before the Gold Cup gets underway there. And the Polo Line crew off to Caliente as well in Europe, start covering the European season. So please do let us know exactly where you are. Hello to Ali Akbar, who's watching on our social media channels. all our best to you. Do let us know where you are. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Great to see Anna and her side this year. Anna Escobedo has played so much polo over the years. Facundo Sola entered her stable of players, JP Clarkin as well, over the last couple of seasons. They just get better and better in every tournament. Certainly a name to be watching in the high goal circuit in the coming few years. Over in Argentina as well, Anna and her side. And all of that, the high goal, whether here in the UK or Argentina, it is available on Polo Line TV to view the highlights, exactly what is happening. Make sure you download that on the iOS store, Google Play Store, Android store, whatever type of phone you catch your highlights and your news from. See, Thomas Villens, a young 4-goal player from Argentina, in the number 2 shirt. Really interesting to see the way in which they do line up. JP Clarkin traditionally does play number 4 at this level, but they really use him to run from deep. Often it is the young player from Argentina instead taking the knocking duties, sending the ball long, stretching out that play, which proved so effective, especially in the early exchanges. They have managed White Crane since then to slightly subdue them. Like Gonzalo Perez, Gonzalito there, playing with Black Bears in the subsidiary final at this afternoon here, but also part of the Black Bears lineup with Guy Schwarzenbach, Facundo Perez, his brother, in the Queen's Cup this coming week, and then the Gold Cup, the British Open, to be covered exclusively live here as well on Polo Line. And looking out in front of me now, it does look like all 8 players are out on the field, just waiting for the umpires, Chris Hyde, to be given a new horse for these final couple of chukkers of play out here. And we'll be back underway. Big shout out to Rob Cudmore, the manager here at Black Bears. Official affiliation as a club over the last couple of years, and it really is one of the finest facilities now in English polo. Park Place based around on the grounds as well. Great to see so many different levels here. 2 goal to 18 goal being played here at Black Bears. Rob's son Ollie, part of the Gaston side that got to the Prince of Wales final yesterday, and he will also be playing in the subsidiary final alongside Gonzalito Perez for Black Bears following this contest. But here, as we see Chris Hyde being ready to jump back on, a half-time horse change for the umpires. As we have now, it is a hot day here in England. Finally, the sun is shining. Been raining over the past week or so in the build-up to all of this. The ground holding up incredibly well. Has got a little bit choppy in parts, especially near those goalmouths, which is why we've seen a lot of long hitting from about 50, 60 yards out, trying to take the divots out of the equation. And as we get underway then, it will be a spot hit in favour of Ojo Caliente And the fourth chukker of the Oxfordshire Cup back underway now. It's Villa. Oh, we didn't quite get connection on it. Facundo Sola is going to have to be careful. He did have enough space for the umpires to decide, but he tried to take on Felipe Dabas, and White Crane will be able to turn it round now with Dabas looking to take on Villans, the two young Argentine players coming together again. Villans called off the play well there by Mackenzie Weiss in space behind them all. Weiss with the long drive up towards the goal mouth. Mackenzie Weiss, has he found it? It looks like it's just going to go wide to the left-hand side. Again, as I mentioned there, they are choosing to hit it long. Mackenzie Weiss here, about 90 yards from goal, was always just curling wide left. And Ojo Caliente have the ball again on the back line as they bring it back into play now with Villans sending Facundo Sola onto possession now. Sola, long drive down the ground, looking for JP Clarkin. Clarkin running away now, out in front from Felipe Dabas. JP Clarkin, this is the Ojo Caliente we saw in the opening exchanges. JP Clarkin reaches out, unable to get the hook. Felipe Dabas, and the goal is scored. JP Clarkin once again running away from the defence. It was a great pass down the ground by Facundo Sola. Look at the push there from Felipe Dabas, and he actually did get round, but he missed the hook. And Ojo Caliente bring us back tight here. 5 goals all in this fourth chukker. Superbly mounted, of course, as always, JP Clark, and you saw the speed at which he got away. And it's going to be here now with Facundo Sola. Long drive down the ground, up towards the boards, but he's going to concede possession here as James Bime will get here for White Crane. Bime turning it round. Felipe Dabas staying close by on the near side. Reaching behind him there was Mackenzie Weiss. Couldn't quite get there, so it's going to come back at them with Facundo Sola. Sola hooked up the play, but he knew the backup was there with JP Clarkin. Clarkin couldn't get there. Mackenzie Weiss he can, as he takes the ball out towards the boards. The dummy backhand selling the Ojo Caliente players, and it's there now, sending the ball down, looking now to send Felipe Dabas on the way. It's Dabas now turning it round, just scooping in there in defence is Facundo Sola. So Dabas slows it down, takes a little bit of a check. He's about 70 yards from goal. Here is Felipe Dabas. Long drive at goal, and this time he has found it. The umpire's having a look. Ojo Caliente claiming it went wide left, and I think sportingly they do agree with him. White Crane saying it was wide left. It did give the goal judge something to think about, with it being quite so high up, but it was wide of the goalpost. We'll have a look here on the instant replay, as you had Dabas sent it up high, always just going wide. So back on the field of play, Facundo Sola, just approaching the halfway point of this fourth and penultimate chukker. Sent long down the ground there by Villans, looking for JP Clarkin, but quick there in defence this time was Mackenzie Weiss. Giving it back now to his captain, James Bime. Do have a look out for that interview with Bime last week on Polo Line. It was great to hear his thoughts on what the high goal circuit now looks like, as coming through in attack there was Mackenzie Weiss. The umpire's happy though. Quick to it was Felipe Dabas. Dabas now here for White Crane, looking to spin it back round. We'll see if he has another go. This time choosing to hit the pass, looking for Mackenzie Weiss to reach out here, and it's Weiss for White Crane, putting it up towards the goal. Appealing for a foul here are the Ojo Caliente players. They're looking round at the umpires in disbelief. We'll have a look if there was much wrong. They've allowed the goal to stand. I think they're saying there that Mackenzie Weiss reached in front of the defending player, but the umpire's happy. So White Crane have themselves back in the lead now, 6-5. Under 3 minutes to go here in this fourth chukker of 5. Ball goes back in play, deflects off the ponies at the front, and James Bime now looking to get some daylight in between the sides for the first time. It's been really back and forth this game in terms of momentum, as Bime is here now for White Crane. Hits it into the pony there of JP Clarkin, and they do hear a whistle. I think just saying Bime didn't quite have the space to put the power on that one that he did. We'll have a look on the instant replay. Always a difficult one, as the umpires say use it, but Clarkin had given enough space as Bime hit it into him, so it's going to be Ojo Caliente ball. And away with it now comes Facundo Sola. Sola. You saw JP Clarkin think about going. He came back, so this time there's no one putting quite enough pressure on Mackenzie Weiss. Just looking to make himself part of the equation is Facundo Sola. So Weiss sends Vittel backhand looking for James Bime. Bime ridden out the play by Sola. Lovely little flick backhand there by Escobedo. Finding Facundo Sola and puts him on his way. And Facundo Sola, he's gone. He's got Thomas Villens taken away any last defender. And it's going to be a procession. Oh, he's left it behind. Reaches out behind him and does get the goal in the end. He made it a bit more difficult than it looked like he might. But he does get the score. He was all on his own out in front. We'll see what we pick up here on the instant replay. Facundo Sola just had to reach behind him on the near side, put it between his horse's leg. The goal is scored. He'll say he meant that one. 6 goals all. Just a minute and a half remaining here in the fourth chukker. Still, neither team able really to get away from the other in this game. They're staying neck and neck in this final, as it's backed away there by Dabas. Turning onto it first, though, is JP Clarkin. Clarkin has James Bime there in front of him. So Clarkin looks to run around the outside. Didn't get the cleanest shot on him, so Bime does have a chance to hit the tail to his teammate Felipe Dabas. Dabas now for White Crane. Just has a look in front of him, sees where his runners are. Brings it one more time here towards the commentary van. Taking the bump there from Thomas Villens, still there with Dabas. Crowded out in the end by a bunch of White Crane players, and it's fair now with Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss had a look behind him. He wanted some support by James Bime, but JP Clarkin was making a real nuisance of himself. Now James Bime does go up the ground. We're in the final 30 seconds now of this fourth chukker, sent down the ground, but it's going to be met here by Facundo Sola, and now Ojo Caliente have the chance to counter Sola. JP Clarkin calls a run, but Sola hit it a little bit to the left-hand side, so it will eventually fall for Weiss again. Sends it back looking for Felipe Dabas. Dabas runs away from JP Clarkin, takes it onto the inside there of Escobedo. Nothing on the forehand by Bime. There was Calvert Ansari, and the whistle has been blown with 5 seconds to go in this chukker. So we have a look on the instant replay. Felipe Dabas couldn't quite get the cleanest cut on it. It was left behind there as Jasmine Calvert-Ansari came across. She may well have had the near side play. So JP Clarkin just teeing the ball up, and it's going to be Ojo Caliente to come again. Interesting dynamic going off just in front of the play. You see Escobedo trying to do anything that she can to take Felipe Dabas away, but it's going to come now between Sola and Mackenzie Weiss. The first buzzer's gone. 30 seconds remain. Long drive down the ground. Beautiful shot by Thomas Villens, looking to give Facundo Sola a chance. Can Sola put his side in the lead just to the right-hand side of the goal? What a chance for Facundo Sola. You would have put your house on him scoring from there, but it just goes wide to the right-hand side. As we have a look here, he'd got clear of the last man. He can't believe it. He looks up to the skies, and that is the end of the fourth chukker. And we're all tied up going into the final chukker. 6 goals apiece. White Crane and Ojo Caliente, the final of the Oxfordshire Cup.
I'm Mariana Plaza. I'm the new ambassador of Argentina to the UK, and I'm very happy to have you all here today at the residence. Well, there is a general framework, which is the one that is set by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Argentina, that they are really willing to open Argentina to the world and to show our assets and our strongest part of our features. And of course, among them, polo is one of our insignia and flagship sports. And of course, particularly here in the UK, the Argentine polo is very important. So from that point, two companies, Polo Line and also Blackhound, got into contact with us, and they start, those talkings of we would really like to have something where we could show all the potentiality and what the brands do here in the UK during the polo season. And then, talking by talking, and one day we said, well, we should do the big welcoming to the Argentine community that come to the UK every year, to participate in the British polo season. And so that's how we ended up here. Well, July the 7th, the Argentine Ambassadors Cup is taking place in Country Club, and it has been played since the 30s, in 1938. So imagine how big tradition between these two countries in polo is. We are very happy that it's a very nice environment. Everyone is very happy and looking forward to enjoy good polo, good players, and to support all our polo here in the UK.
So here we are, the final chukker. Look at that score progression there. It's been so tight all the way through as we have a look at that beautiful Oxfordshire Cup trophy on the Black Bears Polo Club table, ready to be presented to the winners. Who will it be? Will it be White Crane, playing all the levels in the high goal polo this year? What an organisation they have in the UK. Of course, you saw James Harper, Tommy Pinello, Criado, part of a high goal 22 goal side, and this is their 18 goal side for the season as well. It's here now with Mackenzie Weiss for White Crane, looking to take it up over the halfway line, has a look down the ground. He thought about going to give it to Calvin inside, but he's called off the play by James Bime. Bime spins it round. Beautiful play by James Bime, just dancing round Facundo Sullivan. Bime could be gone here for White Crane, sends it up towards the goal, but it's just going to go wide left. Don't think it's going to stay in play either. Early chance in this final chukker for the team in black and red, but Ojo Caliente survive the first scare. Let's see now as they come back with Villans. Look for right hand side for Facundo Sola. Sola, he is the one who will pick up the play. JP Clarkin hovering around the centre of the ground for the time being. You just wonder whether he will wait for the gap and then look to put on the speed as we've seen throughout the game. This time chooses otherwise to come back out and support his teammates. So Facundo Sola crowded out there by two White Crane players. It has now worked as JP Clarkin goes down the ground, calling for the pass, but it's just got stuck on the boards with Thomas Villans. Villans drawing a whistle there from the umpire, I think, spinning round. So frustration for Ojo Caliente. They'd set the play up well, but Villans went clean over the top of the ball there. Just raised his head and then spinning round onto the line. James Bime. So it's Felipe Dabas now with the ball. Watching him closely there is Facundo Sola. So Dabas sends it up looking for Mackenzie Weiss. Weiss coming up against JP Clark, and out of nowhere there came Facundo Sola. The umpires, I think, might take a little bit of a look at that one. It was slightly off the play behind. I'm not quite sure what Sola was thinking. Let's have a look here on the instant replay. There's not a lot there that any player could really do about it. They were stuck on the play. Mackenzie Weiss having a look. Umpires having a conversation to see if there was any foul play on the field. Greg Kite, the third man in the stand. He does have the benefit of the iPad as well to be having a look at the instant replay. I think all players, to give them credit, did try to stop and move out of the way, and the umpires have decided that Mackenzie Weiss could have done a little bit more to get out of the way, so it is going to be a spot hit penalty in favour of Ojo Caliente. There with Thomas Villans, sends it out to the right hand side, was looking to find Facundo Sola. Oh, Felipe Dabas just goes under the ball, and it's going to be here now with JP Clark. And he's met superbly. JP Clark and has it stolen by Mackenzie Weiss, and White Crane could be gone. It's Mackenzie Weiss, looks up behind him. It looks like he's got the speed. Thomas Villans coming back quickly, but Mackenzie Weiss picks up the bounce of the ball. First time, second time, rolls over the goal. Nothing that Villans could do about it. What a steal that was by Mackenzie Weiss. Running away in the end, taps it up over 30, scores the goal. And White Crane have the first goal of this final chukker. They lead 7-6. Look at the speed there of the players coming back to the centre, just remembering they won't wait for them. So ball goes in play. Here now with Facundo Sola. Ojo Caliente. If the game goes the way it has, you'd expect Ojo Caliente to bring us back level pretty quickly as it goes down, looking for Thomas Villens at the front, but this time it's in defence that Mackenzie Weiss shows his strength, just taking it out towards the boards, buying himself a bit of time, and then looks to go quickly. It's Mackenzie Weiss, couldn't pick up the bounce on the ball, so still around the danger area for Ojo Caliente, but it's cleared eventually by Felipe Davas. Looking to send Mackenzie Weiss on the near side on his way. Looking to go round JP Clarkin. Couldn't quite reach the second shot. James Byme may yet make something of this, and there's an overlap now if White Crane are quick with James Byme. Calvin Ansari stretching the play in front of Byme. The shot goes down the ground. Looking for Calvin Ansari. It's there in front of the goal. It may go all the way itself. What a shot that was by James Byme. You see the smile on the face there of Calvin Ansari. I don't think she got a touch. The goal by Byme was enough, and look at that. Took a nice bounce there. Calvin Ansari, nothing in the end she had to do, and look at the smile on her face. She loves that one by James Byme. 8-6. And for the first time in this game and at the crucial stage, White Crane pull clear. 8-6. Ball goes back in play. Ojo Caliente need it. Previously unbeaten in this tournament, the team in green. Looking to come out clear left now with Facundo Sola. Taking on Mackenzie Weiss again. Back comes Weiss for the defensive play on Facundo Sola. Leaves the ball behind. Sola comes in. Dabas, he's there. The umpires have a look and they blow their whistle. Ojo Caliente right there up by their goal. Let's have a look on the instant replay. Just a little bounce now, was it? Dabas riding into the swing of the Ojo Caliente player. The umpires taking their time. That does look to be the decision, and it's going to be a big decision too, because this is going to give Ojo Caliente the chance from 30 yards out. So the shot through the centre of the goal. This time, no mistake at all. So it is, once again, just one goal separating these two sides. Facundo Sola had that big chance at the end of the last chukker. This time, no mistake at all. 8-7. Crucial stages now in this final of the Oxfordshire Cup. As I mentioned, we are live here on Polo Line TV across the channels. Do let us know where you are watching from, what you think of these final exchanges. It's here now with JP Clarkin. They're all calling for the pass. They want to tie the game up here as Clarkin sends it down the ground, looking to see if he could find Escobedo and Sola at the front, but it's great defensive work there by White Crane. Coming across there again is Facundo Sola, looking to keep the pressure on. There's still plenty of time. They do not need to rush this one now as Facundo Sola. He's about 70 yards from goal, but they do need to come away from the goal eventually from this play, and they've stopped them, but it's into the pony. Facundo Sola may yet make this one. 8 goals all here. It's Facundo Sola coming through here for, it's great defensive play. It was there with Mackenzie Weiss and White Crane. They survive and they come away now with James Byme. Was that the chance? It was phenomenal defensive work by Mackenzie Weiss, and White Crane come clear. The stick of James Byme is broken, so he spins his head round. He's got to be careful now not to give away a foul. This game now right into the closing stages. 40 seconds just over to go here in this final chukker. Ojo Caliente, they will have one more chance here with JP Clarkin. He's got time. Taking it now to the right-hand side. He's ridden out of it by Dabas, and they're gone. And it's going to be Mackenzie Weiss, and this could be this for the Oxfordshire Cup final here at Black Bears. It's Mackenzie Weiss looking to put some gloss on proceedings with the shot towards the goal. It's wide to the left-hand side. I don't think it's going to matter, though. There's 10 seconds to go, just under. Ojo Caliente, they will have the ball, but they're going to have to go a long way with it from here as it's on the back line. There does go the buzzer, and you hear the cries of joy. It is White White Crane, who are celebrating. What a game. What a victory for White Crane. They came under pressure in the early exchanges, but they come away the winners. 8-7. Jasmine Calvert-Ansari, what a performance by her side. James Bime, the captain, the England international. Mackenzie Weiss, what a play in defence that was to secure the victory. And Felipe Reyes in the number 4 shirt. Ana Escobedo and her side, they fought so hard throughout the game. Thomas Villens, Facundo Sola, JP Clarkin, big performance. They will come again. We will see them, I am sure, throughout this tournament. But it was the turn of White Crane, the Oxfordshire Cup champion of 2024 at Black Bears Polo Club. And what a moment it was for Jasmine Calvert-Ansari and her side. All of the highlights, the action, bringing you here on Polo Line TV, and plenty of them as well. We'll have a look at the stats. I think there were a couple of penalties by the end, but scoreboard progression, you see that they trailed White Crane at the end of the second. They trailed early as well, and you wondered what sort of a way in which Ojo Caliente may be thinking they could run away in those opening exchanges. After that, it was neck and neck throughout. White Crane, they got 2 goals up in that final chukker, but there was never more than that amount separating the two sides. As we have a look now at some of the highlights. Mackenzie Weiss here, he had a great game in attack for large parts, but that defensive play, I'm not sure we'll see it on the highlights, but it was a great defensive play at the end. JP Clarkin, in particular, in the early stages, great to see his runs from deep, picking up those passes from the players behind him. You saw here Mackie Weiss, Thomas Villens doing a lot of work there in defence. He did in the end catch him, but the bounce of the ball enough just to run it over the goal in the end. This was Facundo Sola at his best. Just look how he just flattens that horse out, runs it up through the goal. He was under pressure from Jasmine Calvert-Ansari, who never gave up, kept Facundo Sola honest. And if we do have a look at the stat bends, only 1 penalty, so great to see. 8 field goals for White Crane, 7 for Ojo Caliente. Just 2 fouls committed by Ojo Caliente throughout the whole game. A few more by White Crane, but they were often right back pegged in their own defensive half, so did not really matter in the end. Throw-ins, pretty even. Ojo Caliente won a couple more. But it was a great game brought for you here on Polo Line TV. Great to be at Black Bears Polo Club again. Credit to Rob Cudmore and his team, the management team here at Black Bears Polo Club. We do have the subsidiary. You can see the highlights or replay of that later on in the day. And that will feature Black Bears themselves in that game. But it is White Crane's Day here at Black Bears Oxfordshire Cup 2024, going to the White Crane Polo organisation. It's been great to bring you it here on Polo Line TV. A big thank you to all of those who have tuned in around the world. Do tune in to our app to see all of the action from Cowdrey, Shanti, as we bring you the best polo from around the world. But for myself, John Kent, a pleasure to be with you today, and we look forward to seeing you very soon.